And good morning at 7:04 on this Wednesday, July 10th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Wednesday morning, and glad to get things going for Cedar Stone Bank as we do each Wednesday at this time. And we want to welcome back Bob McDonald. Bob McDonald, President, Chief Executive Officer for Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Coleman. Great to hear your voice. And normally, often when I call in, either MJ or Billy will answer, so please pass along my greetings to those two fine people.
All right. Well, I think they're both listening, so you just told them good morning.
All right.
You have been on special assignment, and I don't know how much of that you want to talk about, but I'll bet you're glad to be back and that the people at the bank are probably glad to see you again.
Well, I think they were, I was on special assignment, and Susan and I had a very special trip that we took that we've been planning for many years. I've been planning that trip since probably 40 or 50 years, and wanting to do that trip, and was thankful and grateful to have been able to do it. I appreciate the board and the employees letting me go and keeping an eye on things while I was away. But I came back and everything was in good shape. It's like I told you before we came on the air. I mean, it's so easy to still do business when you're away. As opposed to when I first got in business, some 45 years ago. I mean, so it's easy to conduct business when you're away. I just appreciate the time and appreciate Robert and Melinda filling in for me with you. They tell me they had good experiences with you. So thank you for always making them feel at home when they fill in for me.
Well, that's just part of the job. They both did a good job. And, of course, it's not that difficult to say good things about Cedar Stone Bank, so it's not that hard.
Well, that's kind of you to say, and we enjoy what we do. We love what we do. Coleman, it's when you're a community bank like us, I mean, it's very much a people business, and we talk when we hire people to join our bank family, we look at what what kind of person are they, what's their personality, what's their attitude. I mean, are they nice? Are they the kind of folks that our customers and shareholders want to interact with? And, we can teach people how to be a banker. I mean, that's easy. We can't not teach people how to be service-oriented, to be kind and courteous and professional. I mean, those are hard things to teach. So we're very thankful for our group that we have, and they do a great job serving all of those constituencies.
Well, we talk about lending money and the fact that you can get your loan at Cedar Stone just about each week. Interest rates haven't changed, but the latest that I've been picking up, the drift I get, is that it might not be too long before we have at least one rate reduction by the Fed.
Well, I think you're right. That's certainly the way that Fed Chairman Powell is hinting, and I think we made those remarks last week. You saw the stock market have a positive reaction to that, and I know they want to be careful not to drop rates too much too soon. They don't want to get back into that problem, and so I think they feel good about the economy stabilizing. And but we are very busy, as you mentioned, about loaning money. We just closed out the second quarter, Coleman, the first half of the year, which is hard to believe when I say that out loud, that we're that far into the year.
That's true.
We've been very busy this first 6 months. Our lending, our folks are very busy. We're loaning money for all different types of purposes, Coleman. It's not just one particular area. I mean, people are buying vehicles. They're renovating their home. They're buying new homes. Businesses are buying real estate. So they're investing in the future. And so those are all good signs, and we're busy with all of those areas of lending, and we're very thankful for that. And, we also are doing a lot of deposit work, Coleman. We're still doing certificates of deposits and money markets, and, of course, that Simply Free checking account.
Right. Well, the free checking account is a good way to get started, and it is free in every sense of the word, as you tell us every week.
It is, and we'll wrap up our time with that. It remains the benchmark of our bank. We believe a checking account is the most important account of all, and that's why we make it easy and simple and free. And you can write checks. We'll give you those. If you want all the technology, we provide that. So we encourage your listeners who do not bank with us now to come by and visit with one of our great folks, and it'll be our honor and delight to talk about our checking account or any other services that we provide.
All right. Well, Bob, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll do it again next week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coleman. Have a great day.
All right. Bob McDonald, President, Chief Executive Officer for Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. All right. This is the Wednesday that we feature Cumberland University. And my man's here this morning, Rusty Richardson. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Rusty is still the Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. If I were you, I'd never change that title unless I came to be president or something. That's a good long title.
Let's not start any rumors now.
Well, it's good to see you, and you have a couple of guests we'll be introducing a little bit later, but summer is in full swing. Here we are in the middle of July, and you don't rest on your laurels. You plan ahead for the future. Right?
We plan ahead for the future and plan ahead for the present, because right now the campus is fully alive with one summer camp after another. This week, I think it's actually a guitar camp is on campus. We also have a volleyball camp that will happen this weekend. I think there are soccer camps going on. There's so much activity during the summer that people don't realize sometimes.
Cumberland's campus is very good. You're suited well for these kind of camps and these kind of activities, right?
Absolutely. We've got the great sports facilities, and so many of these are overnight camps where the students or the campers will live in the residence halls for the week they're there or the 3 days they're there, and it's exciting to keep all that stuff going during the summer.
Well, I think you've been doing this for some time, but it seems like you might be busier than ever right now.
Yes. In fact, I was talking to Stephanie Davis, our Dean of Students, who books all the camps. She takes care of making all those reservations, and she's got 3 different groups that have reached out about camps next summer. They all want the same week, so she's trying to juggle that and figure out how to accommodate those camps, and it's a great source of additional revenue for the university.
Cumberland campus is such a beautiful place. It is really a beautiful campus.
We're very proud of it, and we keep improving it.
That would have to lend to the experience, I think, of those wanting to come there.
It certainly does, and the location here in Middle Tennessee, we pull camps not only from all over Tennessee, but some of the church camps that have been in, they're bringing students from Kentucky, from Alabama, from Georgia. You just never know where they're going to come from. So, but it's a great time for that. And again, we're very quickly preparing for the fall semester. The fall athletes move back in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
The end of July, they move back in, and the other students move in then in the month of August. So in many ways, the summer is almost over for us, and we're ready for the fall term. And we're looking forward to another record enrollment. It'll be somewhere over 3,100. We're not sure exactly where yet, and won't for still a number of weeks. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at an uptick in Tennessee Promise students, an uptick in dual enrollment, and pretty much all categories across the board. So it's going to be a great fall semester for us.
You've got a couple of guests that you've brought this morning, and are you ready to introduce the first one?
I am. The first one is, and I do want to take one moment and thank Dr. Stone for filling in for me last month when I was on special time assignment. I did listen in on the radio, and he did okay.
And yours, he did okay. And yours was a special assignment.
Yes, mine was a special assignment that day. But my first guest is Miss Dixie Rory. Dixie is our Director of Career Services and Internships. So she's helping those students as they prepare to graduate and the whole time they're there through those career placement type activities and internships. So I want to turn it over to Dixie.
Well, good morning, Dixie, and welcome to our program.
Good morning, Coleman.
So tell us about yourself. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Do you live in this area? You from here?
I grew up in Lebanon. Went to Lebanon High School, and have been back in the area since 2001.
And what got you to Cumberland?
I retired from the Wilson County Schools after 20 years teaching in the area, and I just really needed something that was local and not in the classroom anymore. And Sheridan Henson was, he's my boss, and I was able to meet with him and figure out that this is a really good place for me.
So you're enjoying what you're doing.
I do.
It no doubt is rewarding in certain ways.
It is definitely. I enjoy being able to talk to the businesses here, talk to the people who are willing to sponsor our students in internships, and I'm always looking for more places for our students to be involved in the community.
Okay, want to talk about those internships, but we need to go to a break first, and we'll continue in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. We want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and get a battery installed in most vehicles. It's $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, let's check right back in with Chuck, see what's happening on the roadways.
Good morning. There was some flashing lights a few minutes ago on that 24 eastbound off-ramp at OHB. Not sure what that was all about there in the Antioch area. It's building pretty good now. As you come through the Jolton area, 24 east at Whites Creek Pike, you got all that traffic flow coming in from Clarksville, Montgomery County towards Nashville. Starting to crank up pretty good now in the Mount Juliet area, westbound I-40, leaving Wilson County towards Nashville. Hey, Nash Painting is a non-franchise painting company here in Middle Tennessee. Mention this ad, get a 10% discount. Call Nash Painting today, 912-2288. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
We continue here on this Wednesday morning. Our program is presented by and features Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson's with us, but Dixie Rury, your Director of Career Services and Internships at Cumberland University. Let's talk about the internships and how they work.
Well, we have students in most of the business career programs that they're working towards are required to have an internship as part of the degree program. They go out and work for 150 hours per semester for a business in their area of study so that they can get hands-on experience and real experience that will help them when they get out. Also, they learn how to network and learn other people that are there. So the students go out and try to find an internship for themselves. I do have a list of businesses who are very willing and usually have an intern opening for us, and so.
What's attractive to businesses about doing this? Is it necessarily future employees? Is it to have a relationship with Cumberland? Is it just good for business? What's in it for them?
Oh, there's a variety of those reasons. Sometimes it's because they're new business and they're starting up, and they need to have someone who can come and work for them and just get that information out to everyone else in the public. We have many businesses who work with Cumberland all the time, and they are very willing, and so you have that relationship going back and forth. Hopefully, we are making opportunities for these students to be able to work in our community and stay here in the Lebanon-Wilson County area, because we want to grow our community.
Mm-hmm. Well, how does a business, especially I guess large or small, begin an intern program?
The students initially will go and talk to someone who is there and ask them if they are willing to sponsor them and tell them all about it. It's not really a sponsorship, but it's an agreement. It's a contract. Those students are agreeing to work for the company for the entire semester and sometimes further on, and they will promote themselves. They have to go in and tell the business what they can offer to the business and how they can help them out. In as much as they're helping them, they're getting help from the business, so that they can also learn how to incorporate the skills they've learned in the classroom in a real situation.
How long a period of time does this usually last? I think that would probably, that's something I'm wondering about, and the business what am I obligating myself for?
Well, for the business, they are required to do some evaluations, one evaluation in the middle of a semester. The term for them to do the internship is, for this semester, it's going to be from August 26th through December 6th, 10th, somewhere in there.
In the neighborhood of 3 months, I guess we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's usually about a part-time job amount of hours, 15 to 20 hours a week, for them to come in and do work for the business.
Now, what about the cost or getting paid or?
Well, that is between the student and the business. If the business is able to pay the intern, we are very glad for them to get paid for that. Some interns have to stop a part-time job in order to get their internship, and it's a required course. It is an actual course on their program of study, and if they have to quit their job in order to do that, then that's a little money. They don't have money now in their pocket to be able to do whatever they're supposed to do. So if the business can do a paid internship, that is always preferred, but the students need that internship, and the experience is part of the pay in itself.
How long is this something absolutely new, or you've been doing it?
Oh, no. No. I've only been in this position for 2 years, but it has been the internship program. I don't even know how long it's been going. Do you know that, Rusty?
Ever since I've been there, and much longer, I'm sure of that.
Well, I haven't heard much about it, and I guess that's why I'm asking these guys.
Well, I'm trying to promote it the best I can. So I'm working on it, and every time I meet somebody, I'm just like, oh, what is your business, and what do you do, and would you like to have an intern? Do you have a card? And I do that a lot. And that's how I've met some of the people here at the different businesses that we do internships with. Mm-hmm. All of our exercise and sports science students and our sport management students also have to have internships, as well as our healthcare administration students. Some of them get them, but they're not required in their program of study. Criminal justice, for example, and psychology. But so I'm always looking for them. Accounting students, they're always getting internships at Dempsey Van Treese and Follis, as well as Royce Belcher and also Terry Horn. Those people are always getting our accounting students out there. Rise Fitness has always got somebody over there with them. They've got somebody this summer. We have Vanderbilt University Wilson County Medical Center here. We've got people there this summer. We have people in the fall there. Wilson Bank and Trust is almost always has an opening for us there. We have somebody at the DA's office this fall, which is pretty cool. This summer we've got somebody at the TBI, which, all those experiences are wonderful for these students.
Okay, if somebody hears this even as listening, and I'd like some more information on that, or contact Cumberland?
Yes, they would find me. I am that person. But if they career services at cumberland.edu is a good email address, or they could contact me. That's D. Rury, so it's D-R-U-R-Y, like Drury Inn or whatever at cumberland.edu. And I would be happy to tell them more information about it.
Well, Dixie, thanks for being with us this morning. We've enjoyed
Well, thank
this.
you.
And I guess, Rusty, it's time now to introduce Alan Hutchison.
Yes, Alan's here. He's our instructor of speech and has been charged with starting a brand new program for Cumberland, a program of study, and wanted him to have a few minutes to talk about that this morning.
Alan Hutchison.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Glad Rusty has brought you out. Now we'll find out what you do. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, perhaps.
Well, I'm a Tennessee boy. I've lived my entire life within 80 miles of where we're sitting right now. I currently live in Shop Springs, just a few miles down the road towards Watertown. And one of the reasons that I live where I live now is because of my position at Cumberland.
Yeah. What you said 80 miles away. Where was this?
I am actually a boy of Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right. What brought you to Cumberland necessarily?
Well, that's actually an interesting story. I've never had any interest in being a college professor. I spent my life in the corporate or nonprofit world, and somebody called me and said, "Hey, Cumberland University is hiring an instructor of speech. I think you'd be great at that." And I thought to myself, well, I've never done that before. And so I actually applied for the position, was interviewed and hired, and now I've been at Cumberland for 5 years.
Well, and Rusty's just now getting around to getting you out here. Well, the faculty is much larger than it was even when you started, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, much larger.
That's not a. I'm not casting stones here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring everybody, but we are glad to have you. So tell us about the importance of verbal communication skills. I think we have some idea, but you could probably give us even more reasons for that.
We really can't understate the importance of verbal communication, especially in the workforce. A study recently came out, and employers have found out that, or in this study, 55% of the employers surveyed said that recent college graduates lack basic communication skills. And so universities have got to understand the importance of communications as a part of the liberal arts program. I think everyone in this studio will recognize the name Lee Iacocca. He is a very successful, or was a very successful businessman during the second half of the 20th century. During his time at Ford Motor Company, he was part of the design and development team for a little vehicle known as the Ford Mustang. Mm-hmm. And in 1979, he was hired as CEO of Chrysler to pull them out of bankruptcy. It was under his leadership that the minivan was created, and Chrysler acquired the Jeep brand. In his biography, he stated that the most important thing that he learned in college was how to communicate. He said, you can have great ideas, but if you can't communicate them, your brains won't get you anywhere.
Well, I've got a book that he wrote. He was quite a success,
yes,
to say the least. Well, let's talk about the new program in media communications.
This program is going to do two things. The first thing that it's going to do is provide our students with a broad base in communications. They are going to be taking courses such as interpersonal communication, small group communication, crisis communication, and then for their upper division courses, 300, 400 level courses, they are going to be getting a more specialized training in media. So broadcasting, sports journalism, photojournalism, things of that nature.
You're overseeing all of this?
That's what they've told me. Yes, sir.
Well, what you've been at what you said 2 years?
I've been at Cumberland for 5 years, and in January they brought me on full time to develop this program.
All right. So you've in January, we're just talking about six months or so here.
Yes, sir.
Well, what's it look like so far? You're not disappointed, I hope.
No, sir, I'm not disappointed. Things have been going at lightning speed to make this happen. So not a lot of time to stop and think about it, but it has certainly been a very exciting process so far.
And going to add to the Cumberland experience, no doubt.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, got about a minute and a half left for Rusty to wrap things up here this morning. A couple of events maybe you want to talk about as we close out.
Yes, we've got one big event coming up on Saturday, July 20th, just a week and a half away. That's our annual Patrons Party. It's being hosted this year at Kevin and Christine New's beautiful home out on Franklin Road. There are still tickets available for that, and anyone interested, they can simply go on the phoenixball.com website and purchase the tickets there. The tickets are $150 each. There's going to be entertainment. There's going to be great food. There's going to be dancing. There's going to be just a great social environment. The attire for that, if people are interested, is known as dressy casual.
Dressy casual.
Dressy casual. So I assume we'll see a lot of seersucker there probably, but it's going to be a great event. We're looking forward to that, and Kevin and Christine are pulling out all the stops to make that just a great event. And this is really connected with the Phoenix Ball that happened in June, and all the proceeds, net proceeds from both of those events, go to fund more scholarships for Cumberland students. So as we're approaching that 3,100 mark in the fall or higher, well, Dr. Stumm's expecting higher, by the way. So many of those students, without the scholarships, they wouldn't be able to attend Cumberland. Right. And so it's just one of the vital parts of what we do to help students afford their education.
Okay, well, our time is up, but I want to thank our guests this morning, Dixie Rury. Thank you for being with us, and Alan Hutchinson. And Rusty, as always, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Coleman.
That's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm seeing slow traffic go right here on 65 southbound, trying to get down past Trinity Lane. It's that time of the morning for not only to get busy there, but 24 westbound. That's loading up pretty good up through Antioch. Coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, that volume of traffic has really increased down through Millersville in the last few minutes. 65 southbound through that section of Sumner County. Whether you need a new roof, a repair, or a roof inspection, Independent Roofing Specialist has you covered. Check out their website, irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We'll have partly cloudy skies today with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs will be in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the middle 60s, and then sunshine for our Thursday. We'll be back in the upper 80s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
And we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. And here on this Wednesday, time for us to talk with John Langford and D. Jones. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How did you make it through the storm last night?
Was there a storm?
That good. That good.
Well, I'm serious. I must have slept through it.
Well, we had quite a bit of rain last night. We came back from the airport and stopped at Chick-fil-A on the way home, and because my daughter wanted some chicken nuggets, and had to dodge the rain in between here and there. Today, I wanted to talk about the financial checklist for key ages. And a lot of people don't realize that depending upon your age, there are different things that you have to do. Whether that be at age 50, you're eligible to make catch-up contributions to your IRA and qualified retirement plans. And what that allows for you to do, like at age 50, instead of $7,000 for a maximum contribution, you can do an extra $1,000 contribution on top of that, or within your 401k, where it's $23,500 is the maximum. You can actually do an additional $7,500 inside of there to bump it up as well. At age 55, there is also the ability, if you were retired, that you can take distributions from your 401k without paying the 10% penalty. Mm-hmm. And then at 59 and a half, what you can do is within your IRAs, you can do penalty-free distributions as well. So that's why age 59 and a half is always a big marker within our business. At age 60, and this is important for any widows or widowers out there, is whenever they can start claiming benefits under their spouse's Social Security benefits as well. Age 62 is the earliest that you can do Social Security, but also when you do that at age 62, you're only getting about 70% of your benefit. Whereas if you wait till full retirement age, then you get 100% of your benefit. Mm-hmm. And then every year after that, it grows by 8% up till age 70. At age 65 is whenever you can apply for Medicare, which for most of us, if I know my parents have said, why couldn't we have Medicare all of our lives? But I'm sure that's something that Congressman Rose and Ray may tell you more about why you have to wait till age 65 for that. And then at age 70 is when you can receive your maximum benefit from Social Security. And then age 73 is whenever you do have to start taking those required minimum distributions from your IRAs, from your qualified retirement plans inside of there. And the reason why is because all that money inside of there is pre-tax. So it's been able to grow tax deferred all those years.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a thing of one size fits all. It varies depending on the individual and really what they want to do. But you certainly act as an advisor with answers to those questions. Well, if you do this, it's so and so, and if you wait, this is your opportunity or whatever.
Well, that's one of the things that we talk about within every person's financial plan. It is unique to that person. You may have the small business owner that would like to sometime down the road maybe sell that business or pass it along to a family member to stay within the family. Then you may have a teacher that comes in that has a TCRS, Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System plan, but then also have some additional monies as well and trying to plan their retirement out. Or you may have someone that's worked in a factory or at Amazon that is getting close to retirement, and they've had to fund a lot, or they've worked previous jobs down there and trying to find all those 401ks. We had an interesting situation that happened last week. We literally found $78,000 for somebody because they had a retirement plan that they didn't know about, because the employer had been putting it in there while they had not been contributing. And when we started doing some digging and looking, now I will tell you, I wish I could find $78,000 for every person, but if I did that, then you know what, I'd have to see what else is coming out of my magician's hat. But
that's a good story.
But those are some things that we do, and it's not uncommon for us to find thousands of dollars that are lying around in different places because people, every 2 to 3 years, it seems now, for millennials, they're changing jobs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they don't always keep everything within that realm, and they have a little bit here, a little bit there. And when you pull it all together, it does help to create a consensus financial plan for that person.
Well, we need to remind everybody that your office is at 1424 West Padua Parkway, Suite C, and you have somebody there during regular business hours. You're out and about and doing whatever you need to do.
Yeah, Miss Lisa Harvey, she's been my assistant for 9 years, and she's the one that sets everything up for us. And that's why we do ask for you to have an appointment, because between employer offices and meeting with clients throughout Middle Tennessee, there are times where I'm out of the office meeting with and doing business that way instead of being within the confines of the four walls.
Well, you're a busy guy, but you've got you and your other personnel take care of people, and it looks like things are going really well.
So far, so good.
All right. Well, we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right. John D. Langford with Edward D. Jones, again, 1424 West Padua Parkway, Suite C, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Before I introduce my guest here, just a quick reminder here, the Wilson County Omegas and Coach Evans of Cumberland University men's basketball having a free Billy Cartmel basketball camp for 1st through 8th graders today. This is July the 10th from 9 until 1, sponsored by Cumberland University Basketball, City of Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, and Wilson County Omega Project SEI. All right, we're going to go to the telephone, and Congressman John Rose is supposed to be there. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Thanks for having me on the show this morning.
Oh, it is good to hear your voice, and we take it that you're in Washington, D.C. right now?
Yes, sir, I am. Busy week, hot days here in Washington. I'm sure it's hot there, too.
Well, it is, but it's been kind of hot politically speaking here lately as well, with a lot of things going on, and I just wondered if we could get your take on what is happening, and a lot of what has been happening is the fact that some are calling for our president not to continue to campaign for his position for 4 more years. What's your take on all that's going on?
Well, it is an interesting challenge. As a Republican, I'd have to say kind of glad to see the shoe on the other foot for once, and so kind of enjoying that. But the obviously a real pickle for the country, I think, first and foremost, because there are, of course, serious questions, and I think there are really serious questions about whether the president's mental condition and acuity are sufficient for him to be in the position that he's in as our president, commander-in-chief, and the person who, needs to be able to respond in an instant to challenges that may come his way. And so that's a very real concern that I think the people have, and obviously a decision that he has to make if he's capable of doing that, and the people around him, I suppose, need to make and give him advice and counsel regarding. And then ultimately his party has to make a decision about whether he can continue as their nominee or should continue as their nominee. And so a lot of weighty questions. I gave a speech earlier on the House floor this week and contend that this is really, unfortunately, a constitutional crisis for the country, because I think if what many of us suspect is true, and the president is not in the condition that he needs to be in to serve as commander-in-chief, then that question is not just pertinent for the election and for the next term of office for President of the United States, but it may be relevant right now. And so not clear that we're getting straight and honest answers from the White House.
Well, I think a lot of people are concerned about this, and I have heard some commentators say that they think the news media really has covered some of this up, and some people were very surprised to see that debate live the other night and his reactions and so on. And has there been a cover-up going on? Was this just an isolated incident? I guess that's a question a lot of people have. Wondered what you're thinking about that.
Well, and I think I've said this on the show before, I do not think it's an isolated incident. I think it's been obvious literally since the president took office this term that his condition was impaired. And I think for any, and there are probably many listeners who've had a family member, perhaps a parent or a close family member who has, experienced this decline. We sometimes call it Alzheimer's or senility, however you want to frame it. those of us who've seen that up close and personal with a family member, I have been seeing this evidence of this since he ran the last time. And we know we haven't gotten straight answers from the White House about this, from the president, from his close advisors. And frankly, the media has just turned a blind eye to this, and I think therefore really are complicit. One of the hallmarks of this country is a free media, a free press, and we need them to do their job. The media is given extraordinary rights under our Constitution, under the Bill of Rights, and we need them to utilize those rights to effectively get to the bottom of questions like this. And the fact that they have not been willing to ask the tough questions, the fact that they've been complicit in ignoring the signs, I think is a real question. I was over in Europe, in England, over the 4th of July week, and was kind of struck by the fact that the media over there and individuals who I talked to a number, did not understand what the big surprise was after the debate, because they felt like it was obvious before the debate that the president had a problem. And so they're just kind of bewildered by the fact that so many over here in the United States, including the press and including members of the president's own party, are acting as though this is some sort of surprise.
All right, we need to go to a break right here. Congressman John Rose is with us, and we'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Ride it off the lot. Ride it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still some volume right now coming in up through Antioch, making your way in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 going westbound, headed towards Nashville. Still looks good right now as far as serious accidents. A little bit crowded, 65 south there at Trinity Lane as that traffic flow continues to work its way in from, let's say, Wilson County, especially the Mount Juliet area. Watch for some radar out there. Prince's Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. Check them all out today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture, so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, John Langford, your Lebanon Edward Jones financial advisor at 1424 West Bedore Parkway. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
And we continue here on this Wednesday morning. We thank you for joining us, and certainly always thankful to have Congressman John Rose with us from time to time. We've been doing this about every quarter. Congressman, I want to bring up something a little bit on the lighter side here as we begin here our final segment this morning. Your son, Guy, is, maybe quite a ham or whatever. He happened to get on television and was quite a young youngster having a great time. Tell us about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, many may have seen this a few weeks ago, this early June. It was his second week after graduating from kindergarten. I think I just finished kindergarten, but nowadays they graduate from kindergarten. And so my wife, she works, and we decided to divide responsibility. So I brought Guy to Washington with me, and he's 6, so we thought he probably is old enough that maybe he could appreciate and kind of hang with me for the week and maybe job shadow me a little. And so we arrived in Washington on Monday morning, and my first responsibility was to give a speech on the House floor. It occurred to me, I often let Chelsea know when I'm in Washington so the boys can watch me on C-SPAN. And so it occurred to me, our youngest son, Sam, was back home, and I thought, if I give this speech up at the manager's table, Guy could sit behind me, and Sam back home could see us both on TV, and he'd enjoy that. So I moved up there. I let Chelsea know, and then I told Guy, I said, hey, just sit in this seat and smile. Sam will be able to see you, and so just smile for your brother. And that was the famous last words, I guess. So,
well, he was so cute, and I really enjoyed that, and almost rolling in the floor at the same time. But I thought it would be good. I thought of that then. When I have the congressman on again, I'm going to ask him about this. So thanks for telling us the rest of the story. Well, getting back to things more serious here, President Trump is in the process of choosing a vice presidential running mate, and I guess it's actually up to the Republican convention to actually do that. But whoever he names, most likely is going to be that running mate. And I just wondered, any input, any insight that you have to share with us about who that might be, who's in, who's out. What can you tell us?
Well, no insight beyond the speculation that you see on all the news media shows and talking head shows on TV. I think, we would have to conclude based on everything we've seen that the list is down to maybe 6 or 8 that might be in contention, and maybe there are 3 or 4 favorites. My guess is that in light of all the news swirling around President Biden and the situation there, that the president will hold off making an announcement until next week during the Republican National Convention. I'm looking forward to being in Milwaukee for the convention and serving as a delegate for Trump in the convention, and my wife is also going to be with me, and she's serving as a delegate as well. So we'll be there on hand next week, and I expect that we might not hear this announcement until possibly the first of the week, and maybe even later in the week next week.
Any big surprises we can expect to come out of this convention? I mean, it's pretty well a foregone conclusion. I think President Trump is going to get the nomination. The big thing, I guess, is who the vice presidential running mate would be. Would that be your take?
Yes, I think that's exactly right. I think that's probably the biggest single piece of news that's likely to come from the convention, from all of the planning and preparations that I've seen. I think the convention should go off smoothly, and I think Republicans are united, and particularly in light of the difficulties the Democrats have been experiencing, and really the condition of the country and the issues that we're facing. I think the Republicans, we have the wind at our backs in terms of presenting a compelling, message for the country to turn the country around, get us back on track, restore the country, solve some of the problems that have really festered over the last 3.5 years. And we've talked about many of those, but obviously the economy and inflation, I think, is the one that's most pervasive and touches everyone that we've got to address. And, of course, the budget deficit and the debt, and then the border, and then our standing nationally and internationally in the safety and security of our country. And so there's plenty to talk about and plenty of policies that I think Republicans have got the right answers for, and I think you'll see that on display next week.
Well, let me ask this. How united are the Republicans? How together are you now? Are you together as much? And, of course, we've got there's extremes on both sides in the Republican Party here, but as far as being a united fact, are you as together now as you've been in a while?
I think so, and we have been on a bit of a roll. The press is not giving it very much attention, but as of the break just before the 4th of July, we have now passed 4 of the appropriations bills that actually represents 68% of the funding on the House side. We've done that, whereas the Senate has not taken up the first appropriations bill. And so, the press has kind of just been ignoring what's happening. We're going to take up the 5th of the 12 total appropriations bills this week, and it looks promising that one will make it too. So we will, at the end of this week, we'll be nearing 70% of the work that we've got until September 30th to complete. We'll have done here before the break for the Republican National Convention, and the rest of it is all teed up to do in July. So we're going to accomplish, I think, this year. I'm hopeful that we're going to accomplish what we were not able to, sadly, last year. We made a real effort last year to get that done, but still we're not able to complete the journey. And we passed the National Defense Authorization Act, and passed a number of other very important pieces of legislation over the last 6 weeks. So I think after we got some of the really troubling issues behind us, Republicans have come together and been working together. There are always factions in the party, and true at any political party, and so we certainly have a spectrum of different opinions. But I think the problems the country is facing have really started to unite Republicans around the common sense solutions that we've been espousing. And so I feel good about where we are right now. Every day is another day, and of course we just swore in yet another Republican coming out of one of the special elections. So we now have a giant majority of 3, and that makes it a lot easier to get work done when you can lose 3 votes and still pass something. So.
Well, House Speaker Johnson, what kind of marks do you give him? And has he been a positive influence since he took over?
I think so. There certainly were challenges that were in front of him as he came in, and I think it would have been a giant task for any person. And so it has been for him as well, trying to unite Republicans. And there are Republicans who are unhappy with his work, but I think it's starting to show that he will prove the test of time here and get us through this very tumultuous period. And he is a good person, a man of great faith, a very intellectual person, a constitutional lawyer, and very well spoken. Anyone who's heard him, listen to him to any degree knows that. And so I think he's doing a really strong job under the circumstances, and pleased that he was there for the occasion, and want to do everything I can to support him as he continues to work hard. He's been to Tennessee, and proud to have had him in our state, and of course he's traveled well across the country. So I do think he's doing a good job.
Let me throw this out for discussion here for a moment. There's some talk now that the Republican Party, and maybe its platform even, is going to be soft on abortion. And that is a question that has been kicked around here of late, and I just wondered your take on that.
Right, and I'm aware of that concern. The platform committee put forward the platform that we'll consider at the convention just earlier this week, and our own Senator Marsha Blackburn was the chair of the platform committee. And I think on the whole it is a very strong platform that is reflective of Republican values. The concern you raise is one that I have heard, and it is a concern of mine. I'm 100% and very staunchly pro-life. And so, it would be hard for me to imagine having a platform that was too strong on the life issue. I think there were some adjustments. There have been some adjustments made there with respect to the life provisions of the platform that are probably, I guess you could argue are not, don't go as far or not as specific as the previous platform. The platform, though, is still pro-life and makes that clear. I think you've heard the President Trump, that is, espousing his view that the Supreme Court's decision in the, overturning Roe was the Dobbs decision, that it returned this to the states, and that is what so many had been calling for through the years. And I agree with that the Constitution is silent on the question of abortion and the right to life, and or the right to an abortion. And so I think returning it to the states was the right answer for the Supreme Court. The question now is, where do we go from here? And of course, we see individual states addressing that issue, and some would like to see a national solution to that problem, or a national prescription for that problem. But we've had that for the last 50 years, and I think we saw that it intruded upon the rights that, frankly, were preserved to the states in the Constitution and the 10th Amendment.
All right, we got 2 minutes, and I'm going to just throw this out. This is going to have to quick wrap up here, but there's the possibility of President Biden not being the nominee, and there are a lot of scenarios that we can kick around here, which we don't have time to do. But what's your best guess as to what's going to happen? Will he continue to be president? Will he be the Democrat nominee?
Well, I wish I knew and could predict that. I think that given the evidence that I see, that he is probably not in the condition that as Americans we would prefer for our president to be in, even to finish his current term in office. So I think the responsible thing for the president to do would be to step aside and allow the Democratic Party to choose a new nominee. Apparently, I think the widely held view is that really it's in his hands. And then the question is does he have the competence to make decisions like this on his own at this point? And if he doesn't, who is advising him, and what are their motivations? And so it is a serious question, a serious point in time for the country. And so if I had to take a guess, the president seems determined, but the pressure does seem to be building. If I had to guess, I would say that the Democratic Party will ultimately pressure him into stepping aside and not being a candidate for re-election. And then, of course, that raises a whole other series of questions about who would step up to the plate. It looks like because of Federal Election Commission rules that it's very likely that it would be Vice President Kamala Harris that would step up and fill his shoes. Otherwise, all of the money that's been raised by the campaign would have to be handled in some way that would make it more difficult for them to fund their campaign this year.
Yeah. Congressman, it is always good to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Our time is up, but we'll talk to you again. And thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, and it's a great honor and privilege to represent the people of Tennessee in the U.S. House.
All right, that is it for Wednesday. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.